Hey everybody, this is my last message in a series of 3 foundational training books for a classic physique. And on this one, it's going to be an overview of the book, The Complete Contest Prep Guide by Mr. Layne Norton. This is an ebook, not an actual book, which is the only complaint that I have about this is it's so valuable and I got so much out of it that I just wish that I was able to use my highlighters and my pens and everything and be able to like make more sense of it. Science says that you retain very little of what you read, but much more of what you speak and what you teach and what you write down. So that's the way that I learn. As a matter of fact, that's one of the biggest reasons that I train so much and work out so much is because if anybody knew how much of a nerd I really am, I would just get beat up all the time because of it. So this book covers everything. Now, this is particularly valuable to anybody that wants to step on stage anywhere under the bodybuilding umbrella. And so that could be bodybuilding, that could be classic physique, that could be figure, it could be bikini, women's bodybuilding, natural, enhanced, basically anything under the bodybuilding umbrella. If you're not a competitor, then you're probably not going to get a whole lot of value out of this. But if you're thinking about ever doing it, it would be a very, very good resource to read because it gives you such a clear picture of every aspect of competing. Like it literally covers everything. The table of contents here, the journey, preliminary prep stages, where to start, determining your calorie intake, macros, psychological factors affecting the contest prep, nutrition timing and distribution, refeeding and diet breaks, where to start with your training, continuing the prep, peak week, the final countdown, posing, miscellaneous preparations, show day, and what to do after too. Like a good coach will help you step on stage and look great. A great coach is going to help you with what happens after that too, to make sure that you transition out of that and that you reverse diet properly so that you're healthy coming out of a show as much as possible. So the most let's see, one of my biggest takeaways from it was on the flexible dieting topic. So Layne is attacked. He's a very science based guy. He has a PhD, and he's been a bodybuilder. He's been a power lifter, and so I mean he's experienced everything and done everything. He's one of the leading authorities in the whole entire sport, and he's pretty much known by everybody in the industry that takes it seriously. But he's attacked by a lot of people for being on the team of flexible dieting, and I'm not really a flexible dieter. I mean, I do best with elimination diets, and so if I cut things out, that's the best way that I approach a contest prep personally. One more thing is I read this book before my second year of competing too. So this is before I hired a coach, but whether you're being coached or whether you're coaching yourself, this book is extremely valuable. I think anybody would benefit greatly from it. So Layne does a very thorough job throughout this book of explaining the benefits and pitfalls of both elimination diets and flexible dieting. And he really helps you understand that you have to figure out what works for you. And one of the best representations of that is on page 64. What he says is, what I will tell you is that if you enjoy eating some sugar and some junk food, you can do it without derailing your body to get lean, but you must understand that it comes at a cost. Eating a Snickers may taste great, but it's not very filling and takes up a large amount of your macro budget for the amount of food volume that you get. And as a lower in calorie intake that you go through your prep, discussed later, you will find that you likely want to select foods that are more volume that keep you full. In fact, many flexible dieters end up eating pretty clean by the end of a contest prep because it's the only way that you can really get a large food volume in when calories are low. And the analogy that he uses, I've listened to a lot of his podcasts and studied pretty much all of his content over the years, and it's been extremely helpful to all of my competitions. But an analogy that he uses that has really stuck with me is if you have a low budget, would it make sense for you to money budget? Would it make sense for you to buy a Mercedes? Well, no, it wouldn't. But if it's like pocket change for you to buy a Mercedes, then it wouldn't really matter. And so you can enjoy more of those luxuries. And so if you're maintaining your body weight on 3,000 calories a day, yeah, a Snickers bar really isn't any problem. But if it's a couple weeks out from your show, then a Snickers bar is going to be it'll be a lot larger percentage and a lot larger chunk of what your total calorie intake could be for the day. So on the subject of calories, another big takeaway that I got was on the chapter on psychological factors affecting contest prep and different types of diets versus having a calorie deficit. So the only scientific way by the law of thermodynamics to lose weight and to lose fat is to be in a calorie deficit. That's why weight training is so important, because if you're in a calorie deficit, then your body will prefer to lose muscle mass over fat. So that's how you get skinny fat. So that's why you want to lift weights in combination with a calorie deficit to be able to lose fat. Now, on page 65, dietary history is one of the most important aspects to your choice to compete. This will be one of the major determinants of whether or not you should compete now or whether you should wait. Much of the time when you meet someone in your day-to-day life, they're always on a diet or trying to lose weight or any iteration of that. Some of these diets have catchy names like the ketogenic diet. I've done that one. Atkins diet, South Beach, the Zone, Paleo. I've done that. HCG diet. I don't know what that is. The snake diet. Never heard of that. The lunar diet. He says, I wish I was kidding. Intermittent fasting. Done that. I still do that sometimes. And many more to come undoubtedly. Despite the fancy hand waving and misdirection, if you've ever had success with any of these diets, there's only one thing they all have in common. They've all created a calorie deficit. So right now I'm eating about 4 pounds of steak a day, and I've eliminated pretty much everything else, but 4 or 5 pounds of steak a day. I'm actually building a lot of muscle, and I'm maintaining my conditioning from what I can see. Not in the contest prep right now, not trying to lose weight right now, actually trying to gain weight right now. Good weight, muscle mass. And yeah, so he does a very good job of balancing out the different aspects of how people approach dieting. So, and then this book literally goes through everything. It goes through posing. He has different pictures of how to pose. He has different pictures of what you should look like 7 weeks out, what you should look like 1 week out, what you should look like when you step on stage, which aspects to, which categories to consider when it comes to what you would be best suited for, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's classic physique, if your federation has classic physique, whether it's men's physique, women's physique, all of that. Covers travel, covers everything in this book. It literally covers everything. So if you're a competitor, it's definitely something that you should have a copy of. It's his ebook, and I will put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching.